So you all know that I like computing technology stocks. I like chip stocks. I also really like software businesses. Software, one of the greatest business models, perhaps the greatest business model ever invented. You write something once, it can be replicated infinite number of times for little to no cost and sold at a high profit margin. But I absolutely love businesses that figure out a way to combine both together, hardware and software, to create a very sticky and also highly profitable business. So I wanted to talk about Fortinet, a stock I've owned for a number of years. One of my favorites, actually, a cybersecurity stock, and I think this company is quite special. Let's talk about their fourth quarter 2022 earnings results. Before continuing, let me remind you to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if this video is helpful as you do your own investment research and increase your knowledge of business and technology. We really appreciate the support, as subscribing to the channel helps us continue putting out content like this. Fortinet is actually one of the largest cybersecurity pure play stocks out there. It is measured by revenue and market cap. They're second, right behind Palo Alto Networks, another company I like, both of which, though, trail behind Microsoft, apparently, which just reported they did $20 billion in the last year in cybersecurity sales. But at any rate, Fortinet, here's their secret to remaining highly relevant. Not a chip company per se, but they do custom design what they call the SPU, a security processing unit. It's basically a specialized CPU, like what runs our computers, but this thing is specifically designed to run the company's firewalls, their hardware that basically monitors traffic coming into and going out of a physical location. So again, not a semiconductor company. They don't sell chips, but this is an example of what Fortinet does sell. They design these SPUs that go into their FortiGate firewall hardware. So something like this, a company might throw it into a corporate campus, maybe an office building, a retail space, even a data center. These things, wherever they get installed, monitor traffic and keep the data leaving the location and coming into the location safe, keep the bad guys out. Fortinet, best in class maker of firewalls. They've been ranked best in class company by tech researchers like Gartner and Forrester. But Fortinet is more special than that. It doesn't just sell hardware devices. Once it installs the hardware, it packages together a bunch of software and services for the customer. So the customer is actually buying a bundle. It purchases the hardware, installs it, and then after it's installed and the network is up and running, then the service revenue turns on. And that's typically where investors look for cybersecurity stocks, right? The software, but not a super sticky business. Software is easy to turn off and switch to a competitor. But if you have installed Fortinet's hardware, all of a sudden you've got an incentive to keep using the company's cybersecurity software. So total addressable market for Fortinet, they showed this in their investor presentation in December. Cybersecurity is a secular growth trend, growing at about 10% a year, on its way to a $200 billion per year industry in the next 3 years or so. And so Fortinet has been developing these different software modules in-house to go along with its hardware, addressing everything from networking and communications, various zero trust offerings, cloud security and wide area network security, you name it. The company plays in this sandbox and has been growing at a very impressive rate. Let's move on to the company's full year 2022 results. About that product revenue, 2022 product revenue, those are those firewalls powered by Fortinet's SPUs, revenue increased 42% year over year to $1.78 billion. That was about 40% of the revenue total. The other 60% comes from those services. Services grew 26% year over year, so not as fast as product revenue grew, but combined together, 32% year over year growth to $4.42 billion. Fortinet is highly profitable. Full year free cash flow was $1.45 billion. So nice free cash flow profit margin there of about 33%. Overall, a fantastic year, and the company thinks it's going to have an excellent 2023 as well. After a huge spending spree on infrastructure and networking hardware in the last year or two, Fortinet sees a slowdown somewhere in the teens percentage, but service revenues expected to increase to about a 27% growth rate in 2023. In total, Fortinet sees revenue going from about $4.4 billion in 2022 to about $5.4 billion in 2023. So the company's growth is going to start to stilt towards software. Higher profit margins are on the way. So as a result of that higher pace of software sales, Fortinet sees not just impressive growth in the next 5 years, but higher profit margins as well. So pulling a slide up again here from the company's Investor Day back in December, they see revenue growing an average of about 22% from 2022 onward to 2025. So average of 22% revenue growth in about 3 years, and free cash flow margins in the mid to high 30% range. So improving profit margins. Like we've talked about in videos before, some of the best stocks to own aren't just growth stocks, but companies that as they grow also improve their profit margins. Dual tailwind here for Fortinet in the next few years if they execute on their plan here. But given how strong of a year they had in 2022, again, for those product sales powered by their custom chips, they have a nice runway of growth here, a lot of visibility into their customers' demands, into their customers' needs. Fortinet, I think, has a lot of confidence in being able to grow north of 20%. And they have the track record to back it up. It's been a wonderful company over the last decade. Stock price has appreciated more than 1,000%. Along the way, Fortinet has also begun repurchasing stock. They repurchased about $2 billion last year. So another benefit there as well. This is beginning to be a very shareholder-friendly business. So as you might expect, this is not a cheap stock. Fortinet trades, as of this recording, about 52 times trailing 12-month earnings, or about 32 times free cash flow. But again, strong growth from the business and has consistently been growing since they had their IPO in 2009. They expect to continue to do so and increase those free cash flow margins. Also a stock repurchaser. I think Fortinet has earned the right to have a premium on its share price. I still really like this company. My absolute favorite cybersecurity stocks, again, because of that combination of the custom chip design with the expanding portfolio of software attached to it. So I mentioned the stock up 1,000% over the last 10 years. That's a 10x, a 10x investment. Will it do it again in the next decade? I don't know. Nor do I care, though. I think Fortinet is a wonderful business. I think they have the tailwind of the cybersecurity market continuing to expand, a lot of money being poured into data centers to support new workloads, these new AI services popping up. So I think AI has plenty of ability to keep expanding and do so profitably, which is the most important thing if you're a shareholder. That is Fortinet in a nutshell after their 2022. hope you found this information helpful in doing your research. Remember to keep a diversified portfolio, especially with cybersecurity. I would just exercise some caution here. This is a very cutthroat business. I have seen a lot of high growth stocks get off to a hot start only to flame out. I don't think Fortinet falls into this category, obviously, because of its consistency over well over a decade now. But bear that in mind. If you decide to do some digging on this one, consider adding Fortinet as part of a basket of cybersecurity stocks that you add to your well-diversified portfolio. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We've got more videos coming up because it is still earnings season. Everyone have a good weekend. See you next time.